Welcome everybody to a new Spoken English podcast episode, YouTube, whatever you're gonna call it now. Here with Rodrigo, Azurmendi. Tough day for the Boca fans here, Monday, April 28th. Um, we had a tough weekend, a tough loss against River yesterday at their stadium. We lost 2-1. It's hard to talk to see how we're feeling today. I don't know if you want to start, Roddy, or you want me to start. It's just like I'm gonna tell you guys a little more how I'm feeling. I'm very frustrated with everything. Whoever listened to our podcast last time, we're very excited about this game. We knew it was a unique opportunity for us to go to the stadium, win, keep the winning streak. But I feel like everybody was extremely surprised on Saturday when we learned that we're going to play with 5 defenders against a team, probably one of the worst teams that River had in the last 10 years. We don't understand it. I don't understand it. I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm disappointed. A lot of feelings that I'm feeling right now. Not easy waking up on a Monday with a lot of texts from your fans, River fans, which they deserve to be the way they're teasing me and making fun of me. It's just very disappointing when you know that we gave up a huge opportunity to put them to bed, to shake the house, and now our house is shaking, to be honest. I am pissed. I don't know how to act. Winning on Sunday would mean absolutely nothing to me, to be honest. It just sucks that we're not playing at home. I told you guys that I'm feeling like upset that I'm not going to be able to go to the next home game because, I'm not living in Argentina right now. I wish I had the money to get into a plane and go because I would like to be here, right? I know that most fans might not feel the same way as me and they want to support the team and all that, which we have done in a million times. You and I, we had a lot of discussions. Sometimes you being very critical with everything and me trying to be as protective as I can. But it's not going to change. I'm very frustrated with everything that's going on. So that's my start. If you want to do your start.
No, I mean, I feel you. And I'm also, I'm surprisingly kind of even keeled because I I saw this coming. I mean, and I wasn't the only one, right? But we every one of the podcasts that we've done recently, we talked about how we always started with like, hey, Gago did the right thing, played the right players, and therefore we won. Amazing. We're happy. So when we found out before the game, early in the week, they were talking about, hey, maybe Gago's going to play 5 in the back because what happened right basically the next day after we recorded last time was that Cavani was injured, right? He had a muscle tear. He was ruled out pretty much right away. So we knew that with Cavani out and with Milton Jimenez more than likely not being able to recover in time for the Superclásico, that the panic kind of set in that Gago was gonna do something stupid. And what did Gago do? Something stupid. He decided to play 5 in the back and just play River scared. I know there's ways of playing 5 in the back and not being defensive, but with our players who are very simple-minded, they hear and they see 5 in the back and they're like, oh man, we're gonna struggle. This is gonna be a long night for us. We better be careful. So I think Gago injected fear into his players by deciding to play Ayrton Costa, and one fewer, attacker. So by playing basically just like Miguel Merentiel up top. So, I knew it before the game because I've seen this story so many times. So it's just not even anger today. It's frustration. It's like for once, I want to not be able to say, I told you so. I want to be proven wrong. I want either these things to not happen or these crazy things to work out, but they never do because it's like football. it wasn't better. What, like, we're talking probably like 100, like plus 120, 30, 40 years ago. It's very simple. There's really nothing new to invent. There you can make a tweak here and there, but football is very simple, and especially derbies like Superclásicos, they're even simpler. Just you almost have to throw out tactics and who's playing, and you just have to let's just have the right mindset and the best players in the best possible positions that you have available, and just go try to win. And like if you do that, especially against this like version of River, which is probably one of the worst versions of Gallardo and River that we've seen in a long time, Boca probably could have won. Boca won 9 out of the last 10 games in the domestic league, right? And a lot of times, I mean, some of the earlier wins were kind of shaky, but like some of the more recent ones were really good. Like the team was playing well. A lot of the players were playing well. So like it was like collectively they were playing well, individually they were playing well. All we just had to do was more of the same. And then if we played like that and we got outplayed and we lost, I still would have been pissed, but I would have been like, okay, we did the right thing, and sometimes it's not enough, right? And that happens. But not doing the right thing and getting the bad outcome, it's just maddening to me. It pisses me off, and it's not the first time. Yeah.
No, it's not the first time, because what makes me sad about all this is like, you can lose a Superclásico, obviously. It happens. River lost, we lost. Every single team can lose. The other day, Barcelona plays Real Madrid. Real Madrid was winning with 15 minutes left, and then they end up losing. It happens.
Yeah.
But if you think about the future, right, when you have a coach that plays like that, right? So let's push this 2 months from now. If we play like this against a team that is not doing great, one of the worst teams that they had in the last 10 years, how are we going to play against Benfica? How are we going to play against Bayern Munich, right?
Yeah. 7 in the back.
Yeah, but the simple joke back during the week was like, Gago's going to do something stupid.
Yeah.
And when you know that you have a coach that's going to do something stupid, it's like that saying, like, what can I expect from a donkey? It's probably going to kick you, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
Donkey does what a donkey does, and Gago does what Gago does. There's always a tweet that I see from a Brazilian guy. It's like, there's 500 games, Gago will win 488. And he will lose the one that decides the cure of cancer and the world peace.
Yeah.
Right? Meaning, like, he will win every single game that doesn't matter, but every single game that it matters, he will lose. And he did it in Racing, because we're not going to count Aldo Civi because it's a team that doesn't matter. Yeah. But Racing, he lost a championship game against River and gave us the title. That's how bad.
River almost like trying to lose so as to
Correct.
not give Boca the title, and River still won. Amazing.
So you like to believe that Boca, he got better players, because he does have better players on Racing. He has better players than 90% of the teams.
Yeah.
And you're like, this happens again because he lost against Alianza Lima. So this was a test for us, the fans, to be like, all right, this is a chance the guy has to be like, all right, I messed it up against Alianza Lima, that it could happen, right? Like he said, most of the times you lose. I mean, I hate, like he said that, but let's say that we believe in that philosophy that he believes in. This is your chance to go out, beat a coach that you absolutely hate, because Gago despises Gallardo. And once again, we lose, not because they were better than us, just because we don't want to win. We made our own bet. We decide our own fate all the time. And what makes me upset is like, all right, we lost against this. This Superclásico, like we talked about it last week, it's probably one of the Superclásicos that didn't matter in the last 10 years. But he showed us again his true colors. So what is the future going to look like? Are we going to win anything serious with this guy?
No,
probably not.
No.
And I don't like the fact that they're saying now that the journalists are saying if Gago doesn't win the tournament, he's going to quit. Dude, quit now. Like, we don't need you anymore, because you're going to shit the bed again in another big important game, right? Like, I could see him tying against Benfica, Bayern Munich, and then losing to the New Zealand side. Yeah. And that's not qualifying. It's just like, why is he complicating things? Like, You said it, the position, the players, the positioning of the players. Like, why is he trying to reinvent the wheel, right? So if you put players in a position that they're not comfortable with, they're not doing do great. They might do well one game out of 3, right?
Yeah, against a bad team usually.
Correct. If they're lucky, if they woke up in a Superclásico, in a semifinal, in a final, it's not going to happen. I am furious with Gago. I'm furious with the older players, what do you call the leaders of the team. I don't want to call them leaders because they're not leaders.
Yeah,
they're not leaders.
In name only. Yeah.
Yeah, and salary, because that's all it is, right?
Absolutely.
They're paying these players that are not even playing because they're not playing. Cavani's not playing, Fabre's not playing, Hansen not playing,
Romero's not playing.
Romero's not playing. Those are 6 of the 10.
Ander Herrera is not playing.
Herrera, 7 of the most expensive 10 players of the team are not playing the big games. I'm blown away. I'm blown away with what just happened on Sunday. I don't know what to do. I don't know if there's a nice future ahead of us, to be honest. And I say this, I don't want to get too into this. I voted for Riquelme, and I'm always fighting with you guys. At this point, there's nothing I can do to be like, whenever it says like, what are you going to do with Riquelme? It's like, there's nothing I can do. He's failing us. We voted for him twice. And unfortunately, he's terrible at what he's doing right now. Maybe he was okay the first 2 years, maybe you can give the final the Libertadores, but right now he made every terrible decision in the last 3 years. He made it. Every single decision since Russo left, every decision that he made was bad. I do think that some players that he brought were great. I'm going to argue that right now, but every decision when it comes to coaching stuff was terrible. My dad asked me the other day, why do you spend $10 million in a player that is not going to play? Why can't we spend $10 million in a coach, in a good coach, whoever it is, right? My dad was like, I'm not going to give you a number because a name because I don't know. But if we had $10 million to buy an average player from the MLS, why don't we spend $10 million in a good coach, in a coach that wants to win these games? We don't know who that is, obviously, but there is money to bring a good coach. The question is, why we bring these coaches that we know that are not good enough for the big games? Because in Boca, no one cares about the small games. You want the big games.
No. Yeah.
And the big games is the Libertadores, now the finals, because now the tournaments are, playoffs.
Yeah.
And River, we don't care if we qualify in the 7th position as long as you win the big games.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
So no, I'm not so devastated because I'm not devastated, but I'm just like, what the hell, dude? Why would you do this?
Yeah. No, I mean, obviously, to be devastated, you have to have, expectations. And first, I think you said something right early on about how this one was pretty low stakes. There's still 1 week to go. Both teams are going to go to the playoffs. Seeding matters a little bit, but even after losing, Boca can win next weekend, and they could even tie next weekend and still finish first in their group, which means that they would play at home, in the round of 16, the quarterfinals, semifinals, if they keep winning and advancing, and then the final is in neutral ground anyway. So, if there was one objective, if there were 2 objectives in this little tournament, right? It's like try to finish first, if you can, just to to get home court advantage and to beat River. The River one, we obviously failed it big time yesterday. The other one we're probably going to achieve, but we'll see if it matters. Obviously, just playing at home makes a big difference because players they don't slack off that much when we play at home. We haven't lost at home. I think we lost to River last semester, but if you remove that game, Boca hasn't lost to another team at home in I think it's probably a year. So the players are they know what to do when they play at home. They know the pressure. They know that people are not going to forgive them if they fuck up at home. So there's that element. You touched on a lot of other things. You talked about Velasco. It's unbelievable. Velasco, like I knew that we were gonna have to just like take it slow with Velasco. Like I understand that, if he's coming off an ACL injury, he came back. I mean, now he's been back for like 6 months, so like he should be starting to do something. And I understand that, like he's young. He's probably a little demoralized by missing the final penalty at Alianza Lima. We were not eliminated because of him, but obviously he didn't help either. But the fact that it's the second highest transfer ever in the history of the club after we bought back Riquelme in 2007. Like, we expect a little more. At least, I mean, he can't go the full 90. Okay, give me like a really good 30 in the second half, especially when we're losing against River. He played 0 minutes. So, like, I don't know if this is Gago that just doesn't trust him, or like Velasco is not ready physically or mentally. I don't know. But the fact is that we spent a lot of money, like most of our budget, when we had other holes, and we really needed to like get it right on that kind of player, and he was a complete no-show. So like no Velasco, and also we spent a lot of money on Gago too. Like we paid his release clause from Chivas, so we are spending money. Like, we can get into a Riquelme thing another time. I have been way more critical of Riquelme, but I don't. I'm not a member, so I don't vote. But I would have voted for Riquelme in 2023 because the opposition was a complete joke. So like, but Riquelme needs to do something. But he did spend this time. Like, I don't like defending Riquelme too much, but he did spend the money this time. He brought a name brand coach who a lot of people wanted. I was excited when Gago came in. I was excited about Velasco. I was excited about most of the players that came in, and these guys just don't, like, they come to Boca and they implode. They lose their minds.
So that's the question that we had. The second question that we had to discuss in the podcast. Why did Gago change the strategy so much? I have one word. He's a coward. Simple as that.
I think it's deeper. I mean, he is a coward. I'm 100% with you there. I just think he is stubborn. He's one of those people that just things need to be their way. And if they're not, they're willing to go down with the ship, just like burn at the stake, just doing things their own way. And Gago,
if it's not working, like you're on the Titanic, right?
Yeah.
And you see the iceberg about
no, he doesn't
you're
care.
Trying to move away.
He doesn't care.
So like, no. I mean, like, I think that
no.
we're probably asking each other. Sorry, go for it.
Sorry to interrupt you. No. He ran into an iceberg against Alianza Lima. Somehow the ship stayed afloat, and then like he was like navigating away from the next iceberg, and 2 days ago he like steered the ship into another iceberg. That's Gago. That, like, he doesn't learn. He won 9 out of 10 games playing the way he should have been playing. What more proof do you need that works, and that the way you want to play doesn't work? And he still went back to the way he wants to play and lost. I mean, it's just like it's almost like it's almost on purpose. It's just like he can't help himself. It's his nature. Like, he can't change. Like, how the tiger can't change their stripes. That's
but how? It's hard for me to understand this because I used to be a coach, and I don't mind changing at all. When I had teams that you play 3 in the back, I had teams that play 4 in the back. You adapt to what you have, right? So I'm not saying that I'm better than Gago, obviously not, because I'm sitting here talking to you in English. I'm not even in Argentina, but I feel like at least 90% of the Boca fans, plus the commentators in English, in Spanish, in Portuguese, or whatever language you were watching the game, after 35 minutes, you ask yourself, why are we playing with 5 in the back? We need to take a defender out. After 60 minutes, why are we still playing with 5 in the back? We need to take a defender out. After 75, after 80, after 85, it gets to a point that somebody, like even Colaccini, like I had an assistant coach, that he would be like, hey, dude, I think we made a wrong choice putting this player playing here. Why don't make a change? And I would listen to my assistant coach. It's like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah.
I messed it up. Let's change it up. Like, how is it possible that out of the 4 people he has around him, no one tells him, hey, dude, I think that we should change this? How
This isn't working.
I mean, I don't know. I've never been to a professional locker room. I've been to a semi-professional locker room because I used to play. I would go into a locker room. I would tell the coach, we cannot play like this. We need to change it up when things are not working. Are the players doing that? Are the players picking up? Is Merentiel being like, hey, dude, I'm tired of running like an idiot.
Yeah.
I'm fighting against the defenders. Why don't you put another player with me? Are players not saying that? Are they too afraid of this? Are they not? They do not care. Like
they're checked out. They had
no
Gago gave them the excuse to he's like, okay, we're gonna do what the coach says. He's gonna get all the blame, whatever, man. Just they don't care. They're still getting paid. I mean, they're still all millionaires. Just they don't care.
Yeah, Rodrigo, but it's the point that you still have to go out and play. You still
have
to
you think they would have pride, right? A little bit, and be like, hey, dude, we're losing to a really mid team. And they just don't care. You know who showed a little bit of who was a bit of a rebel? Ayrton Costa with 5 minutes to go. He's like, fuck it. I'm going up there. I'm gonna try to be a hero because no one else is gonna be a hero here. So he's like, fuck it, we have too many people in the back. They're not attacking us. I'm gonna go up top and see if I can do something. I was like, that's fucking crazy, right? Especially because Ayrton Costa is a new player. He has he's one of the no names of the roster. And I was like, yeah, thank you. At least you're trying something, and it's just maddening, man. The way just Boca has no we have all these fake tough guys. Rojo comes in with a Boston Red Sox with that a red B, just kind of making an allusion to when River went to second division, back in the day. Carlos Palacios, in his first Superclásico, he has no history with Boca. He walks into the Monumental and does kind of the shiver, this is really cold, cold atmosphere. And then the game starts and they completely disappear. It is all fake, macho bullshit. We have the softest leaders. Cavani, dude, don't even get me started. He's just the perfect professional. Dude, you're always injured, man. You're doing something wrong. There's something you're doing wrong. You just Ander Herrera, what a great career in Europe, dude. Can't fucking play 5 minutes without getting injured. These guys are a joke. It's just maddening, but to bring it back to Gago, so we're not kind of just shooting at everyone, even though they all kind of need to be just.
It's a kind of podcast to all our listeners. It's a kind of podcast that we're gonna shoot to everybody. We brought a machine gun today.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, we're everyone's gonna get their due.
Everyone's getting the bullet today.
No, absolutely. But just Gago, he, we had a reader, a follower of the account on Twitter, just asking us does Gago not see it? And no. He clearly doesn't see it because, or he sees it and doesn't care because he has to realize that basically the thing that saved his job was going with the 4-3-1-2 formation with Zenon in the midfield, with Palacio a little just freer behind two strikers. And I understand that Cavani wasn't there, and Cavani had been just missing some goals, but also just playing well. And then Merentiel did his thing. He had one thing that just totally fell out of the sky, and he scored. And and we didn't have Ceballos. He came in and he did absolutely nothing again. And then Hanson wasn't even on the bench. And then Aguirre came. Aguirre, remember Aguirre? Dude, just they brought him back from the dead. Dude, he's been gone for 2 months, and they fucking threw him in the Superclásico. Hey, dude, go save us. Which is so Boca Juniors, dude. It is the most Boca Juniors thing ever. It's kind of when we played Valdez, remember, in Maracanã, we were yeah, we need a goal. Oh yeah, let's do this the Paraguayan central defender. Hey, let's go tie it that away. What the fuck are we doing, man? We're such a comedy of errors sometimes, and just these things happen, and then the outcome is always the same. We're always disappointed because but are we? Because we knew this was gonna happen.
But it's very sad because you look at the people in the club, right? The president, vice president, the consejo, the managers, the head coach of the youth divisions. There are players that play for Boca, won with Boca. They won championships, even World Cups for Boca. They play World Cups for their countries and whatever. Yeah. I was always. I'm going to tell the people, always we fought in the group chat because I always thought and I always defended them in the fact that they are professionals. They play professionals, they play national teams. they should know more than us. They see them every day, right? Like we don't see them practice, so we don't know what they do during the week. So I like to believe that, if Gago does A, it's because he's seen it on the players, or he talked to the players, and A might work. But now, and I told you guys earlier, it's like it feels like we, the fans, who know nothing because we are nobody. We don't know
just
anything.
watch it on TV.
Yeah, we watch on TV and we like to believe that we're coaches and we like to believe that we know. How is it possible that 95% of Twitter or your roommate or your teammate from Saturday and Sunday,
your dad,
or
whatever,
or your dad, that we're all seeing the same, and these guys are not seeing it? How is it possible that we are all seeing it and they're not seeing it? Like, how many times we talk about the 4-3-1-2 for the last 3-4 years? And now when they start doing it, 7 in a row, and you're like, I hate being like, I told you so, because we're nobody. Again, we're nobody. Yeah. But it's like, all right, dude, keep it like this. Like, let's do it this way. Like,
yeah, don't. That was our message last week. Don't change anything. Just keep it going. Yeah.
It feels like we have a Troy horse right now.
Trojan horse, yeah.
Inside the club. But it makes no sense, because you look at the people inside the club, and you like to believe that they're more Boca fans than we are, because they play for the team. They play more than 200, 300, 400 games.
Some of them, like Gago was in Boca since, like, in the academy since he was a kid. So you would think he would want to do the right thing.
I mean, again, I'm not a player. I never played. I don't know the Eagles, because I know to be professional, you had to have discipline. You had to have an ego.
Yeah.
I always said and make fun of myself that I make it because I like to party and I like to drink. So they had that I didn't have, and go for them. But, like, what is that ego that they have that they cannot change? What is it that they cannot see what we see? What is it that we, the idiots that don't know nothing, see that they don't see? How is it possible that they make it so difficult?
Yeah.
It's just one of the points to talk about the game. So it's just nothing to talk about the game. There's nothing to talk about. We got run over by the other team, not because they were better than us, just because we decided to let them beat us. We came out saying, hey, dude, beat us. You should win this game. It's just, I don't know. I was like, they don't have the balls to take people out. I mean, I remember the World Cup final where the French coach made 2 substitutions 30 minutes in, because it's like, oh, perfect. I messed it up. I'm going to change it. It worked out for him, right? But what the hell, dude? Like, we still 1-1. Take one of the defenders out. You have another thing. We have 3 center backs.
Yeah.
And every single cross, they were heading into a goal. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Makes no sense to me. Like,
we also had, like, two of the center backs had yellow cards basically, like, right away. So, like, it was also like a minor miracle that none of them got sent off. Like, I was, if anything, you basically had to, like, at halftime, you had to take out Costa Rojo, because, like, they were, like, on the verge. And especially Rojo, who gets sent off in, like, every other Clásico, So it's like, just comes back, in the second half, no substitutions. And that's the other thing. Like, it's sometimes some things you have to do it just for, like, tactics and just improving the team. Some things you just have to do to send a message. What message are you sending if you play like that and you don't change nothing? And not just that, 15 minutes into the second half, still no changes. Like,
if you think about it, sorry to interrupt, but we tied 1-1, right? And now say, all right, now take a defender out, put it forward, send a message that we're here to beat you.
Yeah.
They scored another goal before halftime. So, all right, we're going down to 1. So now he has to, he must take a defender out and put it forward, because we are now losing again.
Yeah.
River made 2 changes at halftime. And I saw those changes because he probably thought that Gago was going to change the formation.
Yeah, exactly.
Gallardo became more defensive at halftime, because he probably thought, all right, now Gago is going to take a defender out and come out, with forwards. I'm sure that Gallardo, when he saw that, was like, wait, what?
Yeah, what? Is he really not going to do anything about this? Is he just going to let us win?
It's
Gallardo, who I absolutely hate, but like I obviously he has very good instincts as a coach. What he did throughout the second half was like he started taking off his best players because I mean they're like old and like injured to the point that Montiel today it turns out that he has a muscle injury and he'll be out for like a couple of weeks. So like some of the substitutions were forced, but like Gallardo, he didn't care like he was taking out his best player because he just felt that like, hey, as long we just need to bring fresh bodies and we just need to keep running and keep pushing. And it was a minor miracle that they didn't score the third goal. They had a couple of chances, and like this is like, like Gago, if he would have been up to one,
there was a minor miracle of us tying. How bad they were, and how. That's what pissed me also into Drugby, but it's just like we almost tied it.
As soon as we started trying, we had to clear chances. Yeah, it's insane, and this is it's just so maddening because we keep being proven right, and I don't want to be right. I want to win. It's like I want to be proven wrong and win. Instead of being proven right and lose, and just this just always happens, and it's just incredible the way that these things keep happening. And one of I have this theory, and just hear me, I'll make it really quick. Like, just every like coach we've had since Russo, like you said, it's just these people that either have no idea what they're doing, or that they just like, they're good at what they do, but they like just Boca just kind of like overwhelms them, and then they just go crazy and they start doing stupid stuff. I think my theory is that like Boca just needs kind of run-of-the-mill, like average, like experienced coach who has his formation and doesn't change it. Like, and this kind of reminds me of like Falcioni back in the day. He's just like a total like average coach, and came in and he's just, I'm gonna play my way. We're gonna be strong in the back, and then we're just gonna like let Riquelme win the games up top. And then we won a tournament, like we won a whole tournament without losing any games. I need someone like, I don't know, like Diego Dabove, right? Someone's just totally like average like that, with the average Boca roster, which is usually like better than pretty much every other roster in the country. You have a normal guy with the Boca roster and resources. Dude, we win a title or two every year. Like it's just that simple.
You know what?
And we just can't do that. We can't even do that.
Like, I read today that Ancelotti is signing with Brazil.
Yeah, good for that.
Brazil is doing that. It's like, hey, this is not working. This modern football is not working for us.
Yeah.
Let's go with a coach that knows what he's doing. And he plays the same way every single game. Like, yeah, he lost against Barcelona that day. Not because he fucked up technically, just because the players were better. And it happens. Like, also they got lucky. They had a nice shot from like 20 yards out, and it happens. That's football. It happens. Ancelotti's not going to change the next game against Barcelona in 2 weeks. He's going to play the same way. And he might win, because that's how football is.
He'll usually win. Yeah.
Yeah. He wins 1 million Champions Leagues every year, So it's like, why we make it so complicated? Why we try to do complicated things? I think the players don't understand, the coaches, because they want to make it complicated. It gets to a point that you can tell them all you want, but you have to speak to players simpler, right? Like, Ceballos, do this, do that. Like, Ceballos had 1-2 chances. He missed. He's not in his best shape. He's not the best player. But that's what pissed me off more. The last 15 minutes, if we would have played the formation that we would have played in the whole tournament, we were not going to lose. Maybe we're not going to win, but we were not going to lose that game. Yeah. And you know what breaks my heart? And that's the next point that we should talk about on the podcast. The fallout, the head-to-head advantage now goes down to 4 games.
All time, yes. Which used to be like over 10, and then it hasn't been this close since 1997.
Yeah, so it's been, like you said, it's been closer since 1997. In the last 10 years, so from 2015, I think it is.
Yeah.
They cut it short by 7 games.
Insane. Yeah.
Which is insane. I mean, don't forget that the things happened, because before the 90s, River was above us, and then the 90s happened, and we beat them every single game for like 10 years, and then we came back up. It changed a lot with Boca River. Boca River is such a beautiful Superclásico, and the Superclásicos is so tight with the head-to-head, that is beautiful. But what now? Like they're only 4 games away, and with these new tournaments where you can play a team 4 or 5 times a year, we need to step it up. We cannot have coaches playing like that against River. We cannot have coaches playing like that against River. And again, it blows my mind that it was a game for you to try and beat them. No one would care. I told my dad, I told you guys, I told my brother, I read on Twitter, the guy in the street picking up my garbage probably said it.
Yeah.
I would have been okay if we lost 4-0 playing offensive or playing
the way we were playing.
The way we were playing. Yeah. No one would have cared. This reaction
the stakes were low.
Now, yeah, stakes
it wasn't a final.
This podcast would not have changed if we would have tied in the last second 2-2.
No. Okay.
The result is not the problem. If we would have tied, it would have been as pissed, right? Because what Gago did to us, can we forgive him? I don't know.
No, because like he proved that he's not gonna do the right thing. Like he got, like very few people get a second chance in Boca, right? Very few people, right? Like so Gago, he had an absolute blunder against Alianza Lima, an all-time like historic like loss and just a stain in the history of our club, right? After like also losing to Vélez in the Copa Argentina semifinals last year, after winning, after being up, whatever. He should have been fired that night after we lost on Piqués to Alianza Lima. Riquelme decides to do absolutely nothing, which just kind of seems to be his style. He'll just kind of like wash his hands and be like, yeah, you guys go figure it out. So he stays on. He starts playing like this system that we know that works. Like it's not what he wants to play, but it's what works, and it's basically what saved his job. And then he like changes it again at the worst possible moment. So what this tells me is that he's gonna do it again. Because like on Sunday we're gonna play Tigre, and he's gonna go back to the 4-3-1-2, and we're gonna win. And then in the round of 16, we're probably gonna play Instituto or some kind of weaker team, because it's gonna be the 8th seed at home, and he's gonna play 4-3-1-2, and we're gonna win again. But then in the quarterfinals, we might play Racing, and he's gonna play 5 in the back, or he's gonna do something stupid, and we're gonna lose. And then and at that point he's gonna quit and go, and we're all gonna just like the stadium is just gonna be like 60,000 souls just like trying to kill him. But it won't matter because the damage is done. And like we never get ahead of the iceberg. We never try to maneuver out of it. We always need to run into it, and we need to run into like 2 or 3 times. With Gago, it's gonna be the second iceberg. We already hit an iceberg. Why do we need to do it again? And he just did it against River. So he's proven me that he cannot change his nature, not even for the sake of Boca. So like, or for the sake of his own job even. So like, no, I have no trust in him. If this is just a matter of time, it's gonna be and we got some reports yesterday that basically that said as much, that like if he doesn't, win the title, which entails winning 4, like basically like just one-offs. So round of 16, quarterfinals, semifinals, and then a final on neutral ground. Like if he doesn't win that, and like, does anyone think that he's gonna win 4? Hell no, dude, no chance. I think Bataglia or Ibarra, and Ibarra actually did win like 3 playoff rounds and the title. Actually, Bataglia did. But Gago's not gonna do it, dude. He's like we'll be lucky. I mean, even if the draw breaks just right, which with today's results, like it's kind of like we might have an easy path to the final. He's gonna play someone good in the final, and he's gonna do something stupid, and like something bad is gonna happen. And this is not being negative, right? I don't want this to happen. I don't want to be. I want to be wrong. Show me this video and be like, this guy's an idiot. But it just never happens that way.
Yeah, I read somebody saying, Boca's going to win in octavos, quarterfinals, semis. And then we're going to play it Independiente or
Argentinos.
Or Argentinos in the final. And we're going to do 3-0.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we've done it. We lost to a final to Tigre back in the day, to Gorositos Tigre back in the day. We got our ass whooped. Yeah, it's happened so many times.
Yeah, but you can blame them to the players, those finals. This time it's just all the coach. Like somebody says, you feed off your coach's energy most of the times. If your coach before the game tells you, hey, we're going to play 5 defenders, you come out thinking, oh shit, we're gonna play with a better team. That's why we're playing 5 defenders.
Yeah, we're playing
You only
Bayern
play 5
Munich.
defenders. Yeah, you only play 5 defenders because you have somebody that has 3 solid strikers and like they're gonna run you over and like the only player that they had is one 17-year-old kid playing his first Superclásico. You know, the only thing I had to do there is put Rojo next to him the whole game, and that was pretty much it. You know, it's just like, you know, no, I'm upset. We already talked about everything I want to talk about. You want to go through the Twitters, the X comments that we got?
Yeah. Yeah, like, you know, while I pull those, I think people were asking about Cavani and, you know, about whether, you know, he should retire, what we should do with him. I've been very clear. I kind of like let Cavani go already. Like, you know, I know some people out there like, and I see the other argument. I see the argument that when he plays, he does useful things for the team to win, but I just think he's a liability because like when we need him the most, like yesterday, he's not there. And not only there, like if you do some back of the envelope math, if he had a muscle injury. Muscle injuries are usually at the earliest it's 2 weeks, usually 3. He is a nearly 40-year-old, so it's probably gonna take him a month. So like he missed River, he's gonna miss Tigre next week, obviously, because it's just that game really doesn't matter. He's probably gonna miss a round of 16 game. And then maybe if we're lucky, we get him back for the quarterfinals with no, like he's gonna be like super, just rusty and, you know, and out of shape. So like, you know, and then we have to like hope and pray that he doesn't get injured again, right? And
Yeah.
this
Also,
is the reality with,
that brings by energy in the locker room, right? Because I'm Merentiel, right? I scored 3 goals against River in the last 5 games. Every time I go in, I score. I'm the third forward, which I'm not deserve to be the third forward, but I am.
Yeah.
And then I go in 2 games in a row because these guys get injured, Milton and Cavani. I score every game. Do I have to go be back to be a sub because these guys are good to go now? Like,
yeah,
didn't I earn my chance? Like, that's another thing. Coaches like us in our teams, like, they don't see the momentum of the players, right?
Yeah.
He would take Cavani, Merentiel out next game if both number 9s are recovered.
probably.
And there'll be a mistake because you have to keep the players that are playing well, right? So if you see a player that's doing better, keep him, right? Like, don't change it. I mean,
Yeah, ride the wave. Yeah,
exactly, ride the wave. We don't know. We never ride the wave. It's just like it's a disclosure there in some contract that they had to play. And I am forward for Cavani all the time because I like him and he score goals and blah blah. But I get to a point that I convince myself that it's enough. Like, you cannot play just 1 game a month or maybe 2 every 3 weeks. Like, you cannot miss 40% of the games because you're the highest paid player on the team.
Yeah.
You are supposed to play every game because they pay you all the big money. You're supposed to score the goals, like, because they're paying you to score the goals. He probably has a bonus thing about goals, right? Not for defending, just for goals. So
yeah,
the future, what are we looking at, right? Like, what's our future? Like, your near-term future and the long-term. The near-term, like you said, maybe Gago finds a 4-3-1-2 forever and we win this tournament. But what about in the next 2-3 years? Are we still going to rely on players that get injured, like Cavani? We're going to rely on Rojo, saying that he doesn't owe us anything. Like, okay, whatever, you don't owe us anything. But dude, don't be mad if we start like going at you, right? Don't punch players in the face like Romero did when we start being like, dude, you suck. So if you don't owe us anything, deal with it when we start yelling at you in the stadiums. Like, how can you have a player that is? I mean, Farah has nothing to do here, but you're protecting the player. He doesn't play at home because it's afraid of his mental health, how it's going to affect him.
Yeah,
like,
because fans boo him like just anytime they see him. Because
dude, if I make a mistake, my boss is going to call me and tell me to step it up. What I'm going to do is just like, no, boss, I'm not going to play this for 45 minutes because you know the market gives me anxiety. Come on, dude.
The market gives me anxiety anyway, and I don't even get paid. Man, it's tough. It's a tough situation. And like just with Cavani, like his situation is really uncomfortable because like he's there, his contract runs through the end of the year. And like, while he's there and earning the salary that he's earning, you can't afford to bring in another like top level quality star that we need at that position. And then he also like plays 35-40% of the games. So it's like what you were asking, what are we gonna do until the end of the year? We're just gonna wait. It's so sad, but we have to wait, and then we have to wait until the end of the year when Marcos Rojo's contract finally runs out. If he doesn't get another extension from Riquelme, because now that he's kind of avoiding injury for the first time, he's played like I don't know 8 games in a row for the first time in like 10 years. Like Riquelme might be like, oh, that's good enough for me. I think he should be good going for him. We'll give him another like 1 or 2 years contract. No, dude, like it's over. Let him go, dude. If he wants to, like honestly, like I would just if he wants to go to like MLS or something, after the Club World Cup or even before, let him go. Let him go on a free. I don't care. Just save his salary. Like bring in another player in that position or in another position because Rojo also makes a lot of money on his contract. So just like we can't wait, man. We're always waiting. We need to act. We need a good coach. We need players who play. And it's just doesn't happen because Riquelme is like, you guys do whatever you want. Just I was a player once. Like the board was like really bad and with me they hated me, they were always fighting me, so I'm not gonna be like that. I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna let you guys do whatever you want. And like players love that shit because they're like, oh, I get paid millions and like I don't like it doesn't matter if I win or lose. That's why players never leave Boca. Faure's gonna stay until the last day. He's gonna like earn until the last dime, and Romero's gonna do the same. Ander Herrera, dude, he has the best paid vacation in the world. He gets to live in Buenos Aires, like eat the best food in the world, like wear like the Boca jersey whenever the fuck he wants, like once a month. Like, dude, it's the best job in the world. Why would he quit? Like I would be like, dude, just sign me up for this forever. So it's like
also we got soft as well.
Yeah, the fans, absolutely.
We got very soft. So
it's our fault. Yeah.
I always have my line. I'm not gonna say it, but I think that sometimes we had to be a little bit tougher on players.
We need to let them know.
Little violence never hurt nobody. Like, so they need to know that we're upset. The fact that Rojo came out saying it's okay, we're still in the first position, we don't know the fans anything. Nah, dude, that's not. And then I don't know if our generation gone soft on the fans. Maybe our parents are the people going to stadium, they're just happy they're going to stadium because it's so hard to get in that they're like, I'm just happy that I'm here. I'm not gonna, do anything to get kicked out of the stadium and never be able to come back. I don't know what it is. I really don't know what it is. But we gone soft too. The fans have gone soft. The players gone soft because also you have, you said, Riquelme has always been the little mother protecting them throughout everything. Like these are the best players. This player is very intelligent. This player is the best number 3 in the history of Boca. When you hear that from your boss, dude, we're creatures that always try to take advantage of everything that is next to us, right?
Yeah.
If something is for free, we're gonna grab it.
Yeah.
If my boss tells me all the time that I'm the best analyst in the world and I still mess up every single trade, I would not care, dude.
Yeah, you're not gonna change. You're gonna keep doing the same.
I'm not gonna change.
Yeah.
So it's tough, man. Again, I voted for him twice. I was defending him against everything. But now I'm like, all right, there's 3 years of this left. We cannot survive 3 more years of this.
No.
I mean, take out all this relegation bullshit that people say we're not going to get relegated ever. But not qualifying to
Copa Libertadores.
Qualifying to Libertadores, not winning important games, not winning championship because it's been 2 years since we have won anything. It's not healthy for us. Like sorry, but I'm gonna say it, the membership keeps going up every month. People aren't talking about that. I'm paying more every month. So like, all right, you're taking me money and you're not giving me the service that you're supposed to give me. A little bit of happiness. That's all I need.
Yeah.
It's just like it frustrated because for the first time, I don't see a solid future, to be honest. It doesn't scare me, but it makes me really upset because I feel like we're going to have 5 good games, we're going to win in a row, and then we're going to have big games against Racing, Independiente, and River. We're going to lose or tie, and we're like, all right, what now? Like, what the hell is going on? And I just don't know anymore. I don't want to keep doing this to the podcast listeners or how we are venting, because we're really venting.
Oh yeah, it's cathartic, I'm sure that, cathartic for us.
I think that they're feeling the same as us. Like, I mean, I don't know if you have any more comments from them that you want to discuss, but like, I feel like every single Boca fan is feeling like this right now.
Yeah.
That we have a coach that's a coward. It's a coach that doesn't know how to play the big games. There's a president that it's not going to change. It's not going to need it. It's not going to ask for help. Players are not going to come to play with us anymore. Simple as that. They're doing nothing with the stadium. So it's like all the things that I thought they were going to do. That's why I voted for them.
Yeah, all the promises, the campaign promises.
And it's upsetting. You know, it's upsetting because you put so much faith on somebody that you start asking yourself, like, did I make a mistake? Is this the best option? It was the best option.
I agree.
When we voted, it was the best option.
I
still believe it. Yeah. But then I think it's like, all right, what's on the other side? Who's going to come to change this? And what makes me upset is like, in 3 years, we might vote for somebody that is probably going to do as bad as them. I went to bed yesterday thinking, it's like, what if I convince my wife to move to Argentina and I create something and I become the president of Boca, right?
Yeah, like run for in the election, yeah.
I even almost opened my phone at 3 a.m. because I couldn't sleep. I mean, like, ask ChatGPT, how can I become, what should I do to create an aggregation or whatever you call
political party, to within the club.
Fix this, right? Like, I don't know, man. It's just like so upsetting. I mean, I know nothing. I am nobody. That's it, the simple equation. But it gets to a point that I feel like I love them. I love the club more than they do. I will leave everything. No kidding. I left my wife 5 times in 2023 to travel to Colombia, Chile, Brazil twice.
We're both in Brazil for the final. Yeah.
Correct. So like. Yeah. We are leaving everything for the club. Are they leaving anything for us?
They're not. Not right now.
When the relationship is one-sided, that's when you start getting angry. And I hope the fans start getting angry because we deserve to be angry. We deserve a reaction. Not say that we need a revolution, but they need to get slapped in the face. They need to get rocks thrown at. Simple as that. And I'm always a Boca fan that I always feel like you got to be there in the good and the bad. I will always be there in the good and the bad because if Boca was playing tomorrow the Copa Libertadores in Paraguay, I'll be there. I'll be the first one traveling. I was the first one catching the plane. I was the first one there. I have my tickets for the FIFA World Cup here in the US. I have everything till the semifinal. I was so excited about it that I even bought it till the semifinal. I'll be there supporting them. But I guess to a point that they need to start not laughing at our faces. Right. My dad always raised me saying Boca needs to always be supported. The players, blah, blah, being a stadium. The stadium is always going to be packed. We're always going to be there. But not for these players. They don't deserve us.
And not cheer them, right? I mean, we like the stadium needs to be packed every time, but like just to me, the only way, and I want to kind of agree, and this can be like the last thing I say, how you kind of you finally like said that you looked at the future and saw something very bleak, and now the reason why I've been so angry at losses in the last recent years is because I think I kind of like came to this moment earlier, because like it was never like my anger, it was never just about that given loss, that Superclásico, that the loss to Fluminense, whatever, like Alianza Lima, just all the many like disappointments that we've had. It's just that it was always like, and this is as good as it's gonna get. It's probably only gonna get worse. So like that was my anxiety, being like, this is not gonna get better with Riquelme. And like this is, and that's kind of what I feel right now. But just to try to end on, not on a positive note, but on a potential solution, is that what needs to happen is the fans, when we play the round of 16 game at home, they need to let Riquelme know. Because if the fans go after Riquelme, and I'm saying, and there's different ways of doing it, right? I mean, you can just kind of like, come up with a chant at Riquelme where you're not just like insulting his mother or something, right? You can just do it a little more tactfully, but like the fans need to go at Riquelme and be like, Riquelme, get it together. Because if they do that, if the players see that the fans are going at Riquelme, then they'll know that like, oh shit, no one's safe, right? And that will filter down to the coach, and that will filter down to the players. So if the fans are able to just like put away their love for Riquelme, we all love him. He is my idol. Like he made me so happy, like so many times. But like now he's in another position. He's a club president. He needs to do his job. So like if we can just be like, Riquelme, do your job, like get help, whatever, just like make it in a chant, make it sound aggressive, maybe not insult, family members or something. Just like, and be like, Riquelme, get it together. If that happens, Riquelme might get the hint that like, oh shit, like they're mad at me too now, and that will filter down to the players, and that might change something for the future. All I can do is just cross my fingers. I won't be at that game. I won't be able to lead that mini revolution, but hopefully someone does. So if any of you guys, if any of our listeners just happen to be at that game, please say something, speak up, be a part of the change you want to see in the world. So yeah, and so take it away, Facu. Take us home.
All right, guys. One more game. We're playing. Oh no, we're playing on Sunday. Yeah, Tigre.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have everything here. Last podcast, I was looking up too much to the stats.
No, I don't think they've determined like the times and everything, because it's like a lot of the games will happen at the same time to determine seedings. So I don't think it's been determined yet.
So as of today, Boca's going to be playing Tigre on Sunday.
Yeah.
It says 11 Miami time, which makes it's weird. So we don't know yet, but we have one more game. As of right now, we're playing Godoy Cruz in the next round. But again, there's also 4 more games to be played today. Yeah, it's going to change. Everything's going to change. So we have 4 more games ahead of us, hopefully, right?
Hopefully, yeah.
Yeah. So right now we're still in first position for the Zone A. We're still in first position for the whole annual thing. We're tied right now with Central with 32 points, 10 games that we won, 2 ties, 3 losses. Hope you guys enjoy the podcast. We try to not be political. We try not to. We're just telling how we feel. We try to do it as the next day because it makes our feelings to come better, more raw. Yeah. Hope you guys like it. Please continue following us on Twitter, on YouTube, and everything. We're gonna try to do better. We enjoy this a lot. Keep sending us questions. Keep telling us what you think, what we're doing great, what we're not doing great. And I hope next time we talk, it's a good result against Tigre, and we have the bracket, and now we can hope for the best. Hope we see Gago, not messing up again. Hope the players are doing better. Let's hope for the best. There's nothing we can do, right? We're still going to be Boca fans today. We're going to be Boca fans in 10, 20, 30 years. Even when we pass away, because we're going to pass the love to our kids and our grandkids. So we're always going to be Boca fans no matter what. It's tough right now. We're going to swallow it, but we're going to come out on top because we are the best team in the world. For our listeners, thank you again. Have a good night and see you next time.
Bye, guys.